This is a review of my Salmon Quest 4D boots in size 11, color grey. Different view of the boots, the front, the side, the rear. As many of you will already be aware, Salmon is a European brand and they make boots and other equipment mostly for mountaineering purposes. The Quest 4D is one of the top lines of the Salmon brand, and they make boots for mountaineering again. This specific boot is also sold in three different colors, that is sage, tan, and black, which is also the Forces lineup of the same boot. Only the color is different. Otherwise, the design remains the same. However, here only this version was available. Those other versions are not available. Just a word initially is that these panels in between, apart from the leather, these panels used to be of gray color. However, over a period of time, I have colored them black with a black marker to make them go better with the uniform. I earlier owned a size 10 of the same boot. However, over a period of I think 3-4 years, either my feet has swelled or the boots have also shrunk over a period of time and they became increasingly difficult to wear. Specifically, my fingers used to hurt up front, so I had to give those boots away, and hence I purchased a size 11 of the same. This is the first version of the boot which came out. To my knowledge, thereafter two other versions have also come out. This is the Quest 4D. We'll start with the sole first. So the sole is a very soft compound. It gives very decent grip on wet rocks also, and gives decent comfort. Salmon doesn't subscribe to Vibram outsoles, so they have got their own soles which they sell under the name of Contagrip, which is written here also. The sole has got a decent aggressive design. It's not too dense and it's not too wide also. Also, you'll notice that there is a slight gap in the sole pattern between the forefoot and the heel, which allows for better climbing of ladders and gives a decent grip in that. Now the boot is called Quest 4D. To my understanding, that is because the sole has got four dimensions to it. First is the outsole, which we've already talked about. It's got a decent density. Thereafter is the midsole, which is this EVA foam, which runs throughout the boot. The third is the Ortholite insole, which is inside the boot. This is again EVA, a softer compound of EVA. And then the fourth is this fiber plastic chassis, which runs along the entire length and breadth of the sole, right from the rear to the front, from the front to the rear. This gives a huge amount of support to the boot and prevents flexing in the horizontal plane. Also, in between these patches are actually EVA, which are filled inside the fiber chassis. That said, with the plastic which is there in the outsole, the comfort of the boot remains outstanding. I have found that the build quality of the boots has remained consistent in all the pairs of the same that I have bought. Even though the chassis is stiff in this plane, however, in walking, it doesn't hinder normal movement of the feet. It does flex enough, and also because the ab initio design of the outsole is such that it is able to flex and allow natural walking. However, when you're walking on stones and such, you will find that only stones which come underneath the boot, somewhat you'll be able to feel, otherwise you'll not be able to feel any of the elements that you're walking across. Also, a word on the arch support of the boots. I have found the arch support on the Salmon Quest 4Ds to be consistent, unlike other tactical boots that I have been wearing. I find that the protrusion of the arch support on the Quest 4D boots are even in both the left and the right pair. They are exactly the same. There is no difference, and they actually do provide a good amount of arch support as compared to other brands. Now coming to the uppers of the boot, the upper front has got a toe rand, a rubber toe rand, a small toe box which is all rubber, which is much required, much appreciated also. However, if you do not get the sizing correct of the boot, then this will also cause a lot of pain. This section of the boot, the lower section of the boot, upper, is all leather, which is much required because leather, as compared to other fabrics, has got much more longevity. And then the rest of the boot is this cloth material, which is a high density cloth. It is like nylon. It is actually nylon. It is not cloth. It is nylon. And ideally, to my understanding, Salmon would have gone with this to keep the weight of the boot down and also to give it an interesting look. The front has got a rubberized section, as we already discussed. Similarly, the rear has also got a rubberized section, as can be seen here. Also, you will find that in most of the good boots, the rear section will actually go inwards to give good amount of grip to your heel once you wear the boot. So similar consistent build quality I found in Salmon, that the overall design of the last on which the boot is made, the boot is designed well. It does hold on to your feet pretty well. Coming on to the eyelets, the front of the eyelets, these three eyelets are all leather. Then subsequently, the upper eyelets right up till the ankles are all speed laces, so which makes them quite easy to cinch because you just pull and it becomes tight. Thereafter, these metal hooks are there, and the metal hooks are also designed very well because once you put the lace inside, the lace does, once it is inside, it does stay and doesn't come out because it has got a small amount of opening in which the lace, once it goes inside, it stays inside. And then apart from that, on the top they've got two hooks. These are also well made. Once you put the lace inside, the lace generally you will find that will not come out easily, or by itself at least. That said, the lacing design of the boot is very good. However, the nylon laces which are provided by the company are actually quite slippery, and I have found that they keep coming undone, especially when the boot is new. Over a period of time, probably with some mud getting stuck on these, now they hold on to each other and the knots remain tight slightly longer. But initially I had a lot of trouble. Over a period of walking, the laces would always come undone at the top. What I have done for myself is I keep the laces tight now, and all I have to do is just cinch the laces up and put the loops in the right places. I'll just demonstrate for you. Since I've already tied the knot for my own feet, I do not have to now over and again tie the knot every time I wear the boot. All I have to do is put the lace inside the hooks and it holds this way. The boot liner inside has got two parts to it. The liner inside this part is a breathable mesh which helps in perspiration, in air circulation. However, the mesh which is further inside, the grey mesh, this is Gore-Tex. So this provides a good amount of waterproofing to the boot, and that is how they sell it, that it's got a Gore-Tex booty inside. So the outside of the boot is water resistant to an extent, but however the lining inside is the actual waterproofing of the boot, so your feet inside will actually be protected by the lining inside. However, I found that the boot is not very waterproof. I will say that they are water resistant, but they are not waterproof to that extent. And a boot which allows water to permeate inside the boot itself and is stopped only by the lining inside of the boot doesn't make too much sense to me. Because the boot will get spoiled if it is a leather boot like this and allows water to permeate inside and is stopped only by the booty, which is the cloth which is inside. That doesn't make too much sense to me. However, that is how I think all Gore-Tex boots are designed. And However, I will still say that I am able to live with it because the boot otherwise has got a lot of good characteristics. It's a very light boot, very stable underfoot. The arch support is fantastic. In a lot of other boots, I found that I do develop a certain amount of knee pain after a duration of walking in them. But with this boot, there is very little. The boot doesn't cause any harm to my knees or to my feet. That I'm very sure of. That is the probably the reason why I have bought this boot over and again. This boot also I found to be, initially I was skeptical that because there is too much of stitching on the upper of the boot, that over a period of time it might so happen that the uppers might fail because of the excessive stitching. But however, none of these stitches I found are coming off over a period of time, and I have used this boots in snow also. There is no problem. These boots have given me good service, and with the amount of comfort that they provide, they're absolutely outstanding. I do recommend these boots. However, the pricing I think can be more aggressive. The prices are actually very steep on these boots. Another point is that this section of the boot, I found that these boots are actually very well made. This section of the boot is actually quite stiff. It gives you a lot of ankle support also, unlike other tactical boots I found where the upper is nylon and it doesn't provide you much support at all. The upper section here, even though it is still nylon, provides you a decent amount of support. It's a hardish material inside. I don't know how they've done it, but they've done a good job. My experience with the boot, I have found that I've used these boots for long, extensive walks also, for trekking also, and for patrolling also. Although I'll be very honest and say, but because of the cost of the boots, I have not been using them in adverse situations too often. But however, they have been carried with me to various field tenures and field situations, and I have used them, and they have worked out very well. The money that I've spent on them and the duration that I've been able to use these boots for has worked out. Initially, when I bought these boots, these were costing about 15 grand. Now they have cost about 20 grand, and the latest models somehow visually do not appeal to me. I do hope that Salmon comes out with the same model once more. Thank you.